A boy wakes up with no name, no memories, and his level reset all the way back to 1. The emperor names him a prince, and that's the moment everyone realizes something terrifying. The more people who serve him, the stronger he becomes. His power has no ceiling. His growth has no limit. And by the time his enemies finally understand what that means, it's already too late. This is the story of Noah, the prince who turns loyalty into raw power. The story begins as a young guy wakes up and wonders where the heck he is. A woman is standing over him, and for a second he wonders if she's his mother. He quickly realizes she can't be. She doesn't look anything like his mom, and he notices he can barely move. Things get even stranger when he sees a floating screen right in front of him. There are all kinds of attributes displayed across it, so he figures these must be his stats. That realization hits him hard when he sees his level has dropped all the way back to 1. Even weirder, he doesn't have a name at all. Just then, a man the woman addresses as Your Majesty steps forward. So the boy wonders if this guy is some kind of emperor. The emperor declares that the boy will be named Noah and will carry the title of 13th Imperial Prince. Someone informs the emperor that Noah has an affinity for water magic. So he decides Noah will rule over the land called Almria. That domain is a perfect fit for him. It's where the water clan lives. Noah notices the numbers on his screen are changing, but he has no idea what it means. He's never seen values like these before. The emperor wants to see Noah's skills, so the priest reveals them. Everyone in the room is suddenly stunned by what appears on his status screen. Noah doesn't understand most of it, but he does notice the numbers next to his water attribute have changed. The whole room keeps gasping in disbelief because Noah has a double S rank water attribute. Even his mother looks completely shocked. This stat is way higher than it was when he was born just a short while ago. The priest is speechless, wondering if this means Noah has already awakened. Reaching double S rank is incredibly rare in general, and it's practically unheard of for someone to achieve it at such a young age. All the onlookers marvel at Noah, realizing they're witnessing the birth of someone with extraordinary talent. Noah is still totally confused and doesn't know what to make of any of this. All he really understands is that he's been given a new life. He's been reincarnated as a noble. Noah's new home is an empire, a nation of warriors tucked inside a vast mountain range. The emperor is father to more than 10 sons, all known as the imperial princes. The princes are revered and adored by the people as the most prestigious nobles in the land. 6 years have passed since Noah was reincarnated, and he's figured out something important about his stats. The values he sees on his status screen are different from what everyone else sees. They see normal ranks like everyone has. But Noah sees something else entirely. Instead of the double S rank that others see for his water attribute, Noah sees E+S. He's learned that these extra values come from the people who serve him. For example, the S added to his water attribute came from the domain he was given at birth. The emperor granted Noah the land of Almria, home of the water clan, which made every resident there his subordinate. Having them under him gave Noah a massive boost to his water attribute. Even his maids give him a small increase to his stats, proving that any subordinate, no matter how weak, still adds to his power. In other words, Noah can grow stronger simply by gaining more people who serve him. Another thing he can see that others can is that his level has no upper limit. It can rise forever. As the maids help Noah get ready for the day, they can't help but comment on how well behaved he is. Most boys his age would be full of mischief, but Noah is always so calm and well-mannered. Noah has figured out a ton about how his status screen functions, but his abilities are still limited since he's only 6 years old. Jess and a maid named Evelyn tell Noah that 2 visitors have arrived. Noah lets us know that Evelyn's a stunning maid who excels in hospitality. Evelyn tells Noah that 2 of his brothers have come to see him and they said Noah can take his time before meeting them. Noah knows he can't keep them waiting, though, because one of his brothers is the crown prince. Noah heads off to meet them right away and he's greeted by his brothers. One of them is named Henry and he's the 4th prince. The other is Albert and he's the crown prince. Noah apologizes for keeping them waiting and the brothers can't help but notice how courteous he is as always. Noah is always so polite that the brothers are certain he'll make a great chancellor someday. Just then, Albert reveals they brought a gift for Noah. Albert has someone bring it in, but it's anything but pleasant. It looks like a coffin shrouded in some kind of dark energy and the guy carrying it looks petrified. The guy's even sweating bullets from fear, so Noah can only wonder what's happening. Albert tells the guy to open the box, and Noah is horrified for a second. He hears people screaming in pain, and he sees them pleading for Prince Albert to save them. But that's just a vision Noah's having because the only thing inside the case is a sword. Albert asks what Noah thinks of it and Noah says it's amazing. Albert tells his little brother to pick it up, but Noah hesitates. Something feels off about the sword, but it's a gift from the Crown Prince, so he can't turn it down. Noah picks up the sword, and Albert is seriously impressed. He explains that the sword is called the Leviathan, and it's a water magic sword known as the strongest in the Empire. It's not for the weak-willed, though, because over 120 people have died trying to master it. Noah is stunned to hear this, and he panics as he nearly drops the gift from the Crown Prince. Henry can see that Noah is frightened, so he reassures him not to worry. Those who aren't destined to wield the sword lose their lives the instant they lift it. This sword is so cursed that for most folks, even just carrying the box it's in is torture. Albert is thrilled he brought this gift for Noah because it proved that someone with double S-rank water affinity is what's needed to wield the sword. He then thanks Noah because this was an incredibly useful test. The two brothers leave and Noah thinks of Albert as a vile prince for just testing him like that. Noah doesn't dare say it aloud, though, because he knows that if he did, it'd cost him his life. Outside, Henry questions if it was smart to give Noah the Leviathan. The sword is invaluable, but Albert doesn't second-guess his choice. He's genuinely pleased because he believes the sword belongs in the hands of someone as gifted as Noah. However, he adds that it's precisely because of Noah's talent that he needs to feel the bite from his own prized possession. That night, Noah senses that something's troubling his maid named Zoe. Zoe claims it's nothing, but Noah presses her to spill. She's Noah's personal maid, and she confesses she'd like to request some time off. There was a flood in her hometown, and the farm she grew up on was totally wiped out. Now her mother, who lives alone, is jobless and needs support. Zoe's other relatives won't lift a finger, and they've told Zoe to just go work in the red light district. They said she's useless, but even she could sell herself as someone who served the prince. Noah cuts her off because he's heard plenty and he has a better plan. Instead of Zoe selling herself, he'll hire her mother at the mansion. She'll simply handle locking the front gate and he'll pay her 10 Renee every month. This is incredibly generous, but Zoe points out that she's never heard of a job like that. He's also planning to pay her mother way more than the usual wage, but Noah already knows that. His kindness doesn't stop there, though. He explains that there's an empty house on the outskirts of the capital. He tells Zoe that she and her mother can live there, and Zoe starts crying from his overwhelming generosity. Zoe thanks him again and again, but Noah stays calm and professional, telling her to get back to her duties. In his mind, though, he could never allow someone who serves him to end up working in the red light district. It would tarnish his title as the 13th prince, but far more importantly, Zoe is his servant. She's been with him for a long time, and she'll serve him for the rest of her life. Just then, Noah calls for his butler, Dylan. Noah explains that a flood devastated Zoe's hometown, so he orders Dylan to buy up as much land there as possible. Zoe is completely stunned, so Noah explains that villains will soon try to scam people who've lost everything, like Zoe's mother. He wants to protect them, so he tells Dylan to secure the land before anything bad can happen. When everyone suddenly goes quiet, Noah asks what's wrong. Dylan says he's just surprised. Noah is so young, yet he's handling a situation he's never faced before with remarkable foresight. That's true, but Noah thinks to himself that he saw more than his share of this kind of thing before his reincarnation. Dylan asks where the money for the purchase will come from. He estimates buying all that land will cost around 700,000 Renee. Zoe is shocked by the number, and Noah can't blame her. The average adult man in the capital earns just 120 Renee a year. Even Noah's own servants only make 8,000 Renee annually. Even with tax revenue from Almeria and monetary gifts from the emperor, Noah only has about 500,000 Renee available. That leaves a shortfall of 200,000 Renee he needs to cover. But he already has a plan. He owns some land just south of the capital, so he'll sell it. Dylan points out that the land was a gift from the emperor, so selling it without permission would be a crime against the imperial family. Noah doesn't care. He says he'll accept whatever consequences come. Zoe doesn't want him getting into trouble, but Noah reminds her that nobles have duties. Sometimes they must sacrifice themselves to bring happiness to as many of their people as possible. Dylan understands and says he'll carry out the order right away. He also makes sure to thank Noah. That reminds Noah that Dylan is from the same region. A while later, Noah gets ready to head to Doso. Just then, he spots his brother Henry and hurries over to apologize for not greeting him sooner. Noah explains that he bought land in an area called Doso, so he's going there to inspect it. Henry notices Noah is carrying the Leviathan and asks if he's planning to use it. Noah says no, he's just bringing it along as a test. The first time he held it, he sensed some kind of power, but he hasn't felt it since. He's taking it to see if the feeling returns. Henry actually came to talk about the sword because he looked into it after Albert said some odd things. He discovered that the Leviathan seems to have a will of its own and only obeys the one it recognizes as its true master. Noah thinks of the sword as a mad dog, meaning he'll have to earn its approval. Henry tells Noah to carry it if he must, but warns him never to actually use it. He doesn't explain why, only saying that Noah's life would end if he ever tried. A while later, Noah arrives in Doso, and Zoe is horrified by the extent of the destruction. The homes are completely wiped out, so Noah realizes buying the land will be tougher than he thought. The deeds were probably destroyed, so they'll have to purchase based on the government's official list. Dylan and Zoe are both stunned. Noah figured all that out from just one glance. Noah tells Dylan to hurry to the government office and says he'll take full responsibility if anything goes wrong. Then he asks Zoe to show him around so he can inspect the land. The root vegetables have already begun to rot, so Noah determines there will be no harvest this year. Zoe warns that being here could be dangerous, but Noah doesn't care. If she tries to stop him because of bad people who might be around, he'll just sneak out alone at night. Just then, they hear a bell, and Zoe explains that food is being handed out to the homeless. The Empire is at least doing its job to help, but the food is incredibly bland, barely more than boiled water, and it tastes awful. Noah is upset to see it's already spoiled, but the people there know they can't complain. They say they're just grateful to have anything to eat, so they take whatever is given. Still, Noah can't believe the Empire would distribute spoiled food. The man he's speaking to suddenly looks worried. Someone has arrived for an inspection. It's a local government official named Lord Gerald. He glances at the food, says it looks fine to him, covers his nose from the stench, and still approves it. Noah doesn't let it go. He calls out that Lord Gerald must be taking kickbacks. Dylan and Zoe are horrified to see Noah confront a noble like this, but it's too late. Noah accuses Gerald of not caring about the people at all, saying the only reason he hired people to distribute food was to skim money off the top. Gerald doesn't deny it. He says this is hard work, so taking a cut is a privilege for those who sacrifice so much. His men laugh, saying the kid just learned a valuable lesson. Noah isn't laughing, though, and he hates Gerald's smug, condescending tone. Noah's anger keeps rising, and we see something stirring around the Leviathan. Noah declares that profiting off rations meant for disaster victims is a crime, but Gerald takes offense. He says insulting him is the same as insulting Surin, the ruler of this entire region. He asks if Noah even knows who he is, but Noah cuts him off. Noah calls him out for tyrannizing the weak to gain more power, and he's utterly disgusted. Noah's fury builds further, and the darkness swirling around his sword begins to intensify. Gerald compares Noah to an angry dog, which only reminds Noah of the Leviathan. Noah prepares to announce Gerald's punishment, but Gerald is furious now. He moves to strike Noah, but Noah declares that Gerald's punishment will be death. Just as the tension hits its peak, the Leviathan suddenly flies toward our hero. Zoe's horrified, thinking the sword just impaled him, but the Leviathan actually stops right beside Noah. Noah can sense the sword's anger. He knows it's upset because he compared its name to garbage like Gerald. He tells the sword that if it's truly mad, then he wants it to show him its real strength. Right then, the Leviathan unleashes its power and starts to overwhelm our hero. Noah struggles through intense pain and admits just how powerful the sword truly is. It's obvious the Leviathan is trying to force Noah to submit by demonstrating its dominance. It wants him to admit he's weak in comparison, but Noah's only disappointed. He points out that the strong only show off their power in front of the weak because they're afraid of someone even stronger. Noah's taking serious damage from the sword, but he manages to endure it. He declares that if someone is born with immense power, they should use it for the benefit of the people. He proclaims that this is his duty as a noble, and with that, he firmly grasps the sword. Noah commands the Leviathan to obey him, and the sword submits. Gerald charges again, but he's no match for Noah and his new weapon. Ruthlessly, Noah severs Gerald's head, and the knights decide they have no choice but to eliminate the boy. Noah hasn't even revealed a fraction of his true strength yet, so he unleashes an attack that stuns everyone. A massive pillar of water erupts, carving an enormous hole in the ground so deep the bottom can't be seen. Noah tells the Leviathan its power is absolutely insane. Jess and a group of knights arrive, and the food distributors rush to tell them that some kid just killed Lord Gerald. The knight captain, named Rowan, immediately drops to his knees before the 13th prince. Noah's surprised someone recognizes him, and Rowan apologizes for how Noah was treated. Rowan explains he was only assigned here recently and is actually a servant of Prince Henry. Everyone's confused, so Rowan announces they're standing before the 13th imperial prince. They all bow deeply, but Noah's focused on something else. He explains that someone was hiring these food distributors just to take kickbacks, so he punished the man responsible. Noah identifies Gerald's accomplices and orders Rowan to give them the punishment they deserve. As for the food distribution, Noah declares they're starting fresh. From now on, the soup will be much thicker, made fresh every day, so thick a spoon can stand upright in it without falling. Rowan swears he'll make it happen, and the villagers can hardly believe they'll finally get real food. They erupt in cheers for Prince Noah. Zoe quietly tells him he's truly amazing. Elsewhere, Albert gets the report about what happened. He realizes Noah didn't just avoid getting bitten, the mad dog actually bowed to him. Albert never imagined this outcome and decides Noah might be far more valuable than he originally thought. A while later, Noah is summoned to meet the emperor. The emperor has heard that Noah sold some of the land he was granted and used the money to buy an entire village. Noah doesn't deny it and braces for punishment. He's stunned, though, when the emperor thanks him instead. Noah's actions prevented opportunists from exploiting the flood victims. If a natural disaster had turned into a man-made one, the empire would have had to deploy resources to clean up the mess. The emperor wonders how Noah even learned about the flood. Noah explains it was pure coincidence, his maid was from that village, so he acted fast. The emperor also mentions hearing that Noah mastered a legendary water magic sword in that village, and Noah can't believe word traveled that quickly. That's not all that shocks him. As the emperor says he'd like to see Noah's abilities again, the priest steps forward, just like when Noah was born, and displays his status screen. Noah hasn't checked it himself in days, so he only now notices something huge. It turns out human subordinates aren't the only ones who can boost his stats. His water attribute has climbed even higher because Noah made the Leviathan his subordinate. The emperor is astonished, and Noah sees that his water attribute has now reached triple S rank. The emperor asks Noah to keep supporting him, and Noah promises he will. Later, Noah goes to watch a singer perform. We learn he's given Zoe extra duties to thank her for everything she did in her village. Zoe works hard and pays attention to every little detail, so he's entrusted her with more responsibilities. Noah is strategic about choosing his followers. He believes you can never have too many talented people serving you. He watches intently as the singer, named Elichi, performs for a large crowd. From the way she sings, Noah can tell a lot about her. She performs with genuine heart and takes her craft seriously, showing she's a deeply conscientious girl. Suddenly, some rough guys barge in and stop the show. They demand to know why Elichi is wasting time singing when she won't earn enough to pay off her father's debt. She needs to do something else. Elichi says singing is all she has, but that only angers them more. They hint there's a much easier way for a woman to make money, and Elichi looks horrified at what they imply. The crowd is too scared to intervene, but one voice cuts through the tension. It's Noah. The thugs tell him to go run home to his mommy. Noah ignores the jab and calmly cites Imperial Law 67, Article 2. It's illegal to force children to inherit and repay their parents' debts. He steps onto the stage and declares that forcing Elichi to repay her father's debt and ordering her to sell her body to do it is a crime. One thug snaps at Noah to stay out of their business, but Noah instantly summons the Leviathan and attacks. He asks if they really want to keep this up, but the guys see the terrifying sword and bolt, yelling that they won't forget this. Noah tells the venue owners to let him know if those men ever return. The owner is stunned to learn Noah is a prince. Noah turns to Eli Chi and says he's truly impressed by her voice. He asks how much her monthly living expenses are. Eli Chi hesitates. It's a lot because of the medical costs for her mother's illness. Noah doesn't even wait for the full answer. He tells her he'll pay her 25 Renee every month so she can focus on singing. And that's not all, he'll increase it as she gets better. Eli Chi is overwhelmed by his kindness and thanks him profusely. Noah says it's no trouble and asks to hear the rest of her performance. When Noah returns home, he's told that some lenders have come to see him. He recognizes them as the thugs from earlier and learns they want to apologize. Noah figures they only want to apologize now that they know who he is. He tells his maid to send them away and adds a message: a prince isn't someone they can just demand to see whenever they feel like it. Henry arrives and is impressed by how Noah handled it. Granting an audience to men like them would cheapen Noah's royal standing, so sending them packing was the right call. Noah agrees, but he explains he has another reason for turning them away. He's going to help Eli Chi, so he wants the lenders to believe he's still furious with them. As long as they think Noah's holding a grudge, they won't dare bother her again. Henry's genuinely impressed. This shows Noah is thinking several steps ahead. He points out that their brothers Frank and Gary are closer to Noah's age, but they don't think like him at all. Gary's the worst offender. Despite all the lessons he's received, he still hasn't learned basic manners or restraint. Noah says he's sure his brothers will grow out of it eventually, but deep down, he isn't convinced. Just then, Henry shifts the topic back to the magic sword. It seems Noah has truly mastered it, and Noah gives Henry credit for the insight. Henry was the one who told him the Leviathan has a will of its own, and he was right. Henry marvels at how Noah even carries the thing around, remembering how massive it is. In response, Noah shocks him right out of his chair by summoning the Leviathan. He reveals he keeps the sword hidden in his sleeve by shrinking it down to a tiny size. Henry has never seen anything like it, and Noah explains that the sword itself taught him how to do it. This is completely unheard of. Henry can't believe it. The Leviathan has been kept as a national treasure for 2 centuries, and even the ancient records mention nothing about this ability. Henry sums it up simply: Noah is just that extraordinary, and he's the one who finally unlocked the sword's true potential. That night, the lenders are still kneeling outside the gate. Hours have passed, and the men finally lose their patience. One of them starts shouting curses at the castle, telling Noah not to act so arrogant by ignoring them. The others try to calm their leader down, but he swears he'll make Noah pay for the disrespect. Noah then demonstrates a new ability. He forces the men to the ground with nothing more than a glare. Henry can tell Noah nearly knocked them unconscious just by looking at them. He wonders what Noah did this time. Noah explains that he released just a sliver of the Leviathan's power and used it to intimidate them. A while later, Noah arrives at a grand hall and is greeted by Radok. As he steps inside, the entire room erupts in applause. People murmur about how he's the 13th prince, looking so composed and dignified for his age, clearly the son of the emperor. Radok notices something at Noah's waist and asks what it is. Noah casually explains it was a gift from the crown prince, the Leviathan. The room falls silent in shock. This is a national treasure, and everyone is stunned that the crown prince gave it directly to him. A rude voice from the crowd mutters that it's probably just a cheap replica, but the man freezes in horror when he realizes Noah heard him, and worse, the Leviathan is furious. The sword's dark aura surges through the entire hall, thick with murderous intent. Noah immediately commands it to stand down. The Leviathan obeys at once, retracting its power before anyone can be harmed. Noah realizes the sword reacted because its master was insulted. But that's not acceptable. He tells the Leviathan he appreciates its loyalty, but it went too far this time. Radok, surprisingly pleased, comments that everyone just felt death breathing down their necks. That was the true might of a national treasure, and Noah controlled that overwhelming force with a single word. The crowd buys into his words. Noah saved their lives with one command. The sword was ready to slaughter anyone who doubted him, but Noah chose mercy. Their admiration for him grows even stronger, and they cheer for him again. Radok asks what they should do about the man who doubted him, but Noah says to leave him alone. He's already humiliated himself, he can't escape that. As the evening continues, people line up to introduce themselves to the prince. One man presents himself and his daughter. Noah impresses everyone by reading them instantly. He can tell the father is a second or third generation noble, while the daughter is adopted. The father carries himself with the natural poise of old blood, but the girl doesn't. More than that, Noah senses she's a former slave. When she got flustered, she gave him a certain wary, curious glance that's unmistakable to someone who knows the look of those who've lived in chains. The father, named Alan, is floored that Noah figured it all out and confirms everything. He originally purchased the girl, Cindy, as a slave, but she learns so quickly that he's raised and educated her as his adopted daughter. Noah says he loves stories like that and wants to hear more. He invites them to visit his mansion sometime. They thank him warmly and excuse themselves. Noah is even more impressed with Alan. He knew exactly when to leave before overstaying his welcome. Radok agrees the man is sharp, lingering longer would have made others jealous. The crowd still watches Alan closely. He was the first to earn personal acknowledgement from the prince. Noah then reveals another clue he used to confirm Cindy wasn't Alan's biological daughter. He releases a faint trace of the Leviathan's malevolent aura, and Cindy reacts instantly. She shifts protectively toward Alan. Noah explains she's been shielding him since the moment he first used the sword as a threat. Most girls her age would need protecting, but she's no ordinary girl. Radok is stunned. Noah picked up on that from the very beginning. He admits he's never been so impressed by anyone in his life. The next day, Noah is greeted by the 8th prince, Oscar. Noah says he's just out for a walk, so Oscar invites him to join a treasure hunt on Cobalt Street. Noah agrees, and they head there. Noah has heard of the place. It's famous for antiques from every corner of the empire. Oscar confirms that's true, but warns that counterfeits are everywhere. Spotting genuine treasures among the fakes is a skill every noble should have. They spend the day browsing, but find nothing worthwhile. Oscar calls it bad luck and is surprised when Noah buys something anyway, a cheap old book for just 3 renais. Oscar figures Noah grabbed it because it was a steal. Noah says it simply piqued his curiosity. Oscar takes a closer look and freezes in disbelief. After double-checking, he's certain it's the original grimoire of Andrea, the legendary sorcerer. Depending on its contents, Noah could sell it for 1,000 renais or more. This is incredible. Oscar asks how Noah knew. Noah admits he didn't at first. But the instant he touched it, a plus appeared next to his winstat. Suddenly, Noah realizes something, and the Leviathan begins shaking violently in his grip. The sword has sensed it too. Noah draws it and points the blade at the book. Only beings with their own will can boost his stats, which means this book must have a will of its own. Threatening it with the sword provokes a reaction. The book springs open to a page bearing a glowing magic circle, and raw power pours out. Something terrifying begins to emerge from within. Oscar is in utter disbelief. He can't comprehend what's happening and wonders aloud if this is a forbidden tome with the sorcerer's vengeful soul sealed inside. The danger escalates by the second, so Oscar urgently tells Noah to run. He's convinced the entity rising from the book is the wrathful spirit of the great wind sorcerer Andrea himself. Violent winds whip through the air, so Oscar urgently tells Noah to run again. Noah refuses, though. He stands his ground and orders the spirit to leave. He unleashes a massive water attack from the Leviathan, and the spirit is defeated instantly. The sky clears in an instant, and Noah confirms the spirit is gone because the plus next to his winstat has disappeared. Oscar quickly checks for any collateral damage, but Noah reassures him everything's fine. He didn't want to hurt anyone or wreck the buildings, so he directed the attack straight upward. Oscar is floored once more. Noah made that split-second decision under pressure. He can't recall Noah ever being this capable and wonders when his little brother became so powerful. Just then, a merchant named Barley steps forward and introduces himself. After witnessing Noah's strength, he decides to show him something special. Noah asks if it's some kind of treasure, but Barley admits he's not entirely sure. He presents a ring and explains that it only reveals its true form when its rightful owner appears. Barley has shown it to countless people over the years, but it's never reacted until now. It still sits dormant, so Noah suggests it might just be junk. Barley has considered that too and even tried discarding it multiple times. Yet no matter how far he throws it, the ring always reappears in his shop. That's why he's convinced it's something extraordinary. Noah slips it on, and Barley's jaw drops as the ring begins to glow for the very first time. A mysterious voice announces that the level limit has been confirmed. It declares itself a triple S rarity item and recognizes Noah as its new owner. The voice says Armorize, and a strange liquid flows out from the ring. It spreads over Noah's arms and legs, shocking everyone as the ring's true form is finally revealed. Even Noah is stunned. The ring has transformed into sleek armor covering his arms and legs. There's no change to his stats, though, which means it's not the same kind of sentient being as the Grimoire or the Leviathan. Still, it's undeniably a remarkable item with plenty of potential uses. Noah tells Barley he'll buy the ring and will have payment sent later. Oscar, however, steps in and offers to cover the cost right away, saying Noah can consider it a gift. First, Noah awakened a legendary magic sword, and now he's done the same with a magic ring. Oscar is convinced there's something truly exceptional about him. The two eventually part ways, but one of the lenders suddenly ambushes Noah. His friends rush to shield him, but Noah doesn't need help. He activates the ring, using it to generate a protective barrier that tracks and blocks the attacker perfectly. The threat is neutralized in seconds, and Noah dismisses the shield. Oscar says he's never seen that ability before, so Noah explains he linked the ring to the Leviathan. He wasn't sure what would happen, but the ring reacted automatically to the hostility, deploying its defense on its own. Oscar is amazed yet again. Noah has already mastered the ring's power in practically no time at all. Later, Noah returns to watch Eli Chi perform. He reflects that the lender is finished after daring to attack him directly. They won't bother Eli Chi anymore either, so he makes a mental note to reassure her later. Suddenly, a drunk man leaps onto the stage and starts hitting on Eli Chi. Another guy claims he saw her first, and the two start arguing heatedly. A brawl is about to erupt, but Noah appears out of nowhere, stopping them cold with his shield. He follows up with a swift strike from the Leviathan, and the men flee in terror. The owner apologizes profusely for the incident, but Noah tells him to ban people like that from ever coming back. The owner explains that customers like them are what keep the business running. He has no other choice. Noah tells him not to worry, then stuns the man by saying he'll just buy the entire place. He has Zoe bring the funds and offers the owner 1,000 Renee on the spot. The owner accepts joyfully. Eli Chi is overwhelmed and doesn't know how to repay Noah for everything. Noah tells her all he wants is her music. She can repay him by continuing to sing. She asks if he really likes her voice that much, and Noah says he sees incredible potential in her. He wants the Emperor to hear her someday, so he urges her to dedicate herself fully to singing until then. Eli Chi is overjoyed and promises to give it everything she has. As she performs, Noah reflects that his judgment was right on target. Investing in people is the greatest treasure of all. Thanks for watching my recap. Make sure to subscribe to the channel.